What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now with Survivor Series less than 2 weeks away and the NXT invasion underway, did last night's Raw build on these events or phone it in? If you want to see a quick recap of Raw, be sure to check out our previous video where we posted spoilers. But today, we're just going to look at the good, the bad and the downright ugly, as well as the latest wrestling news that includes John Cena saying he won't miss Wrestlemania 36, a number of babyface turns, Brock Lesnar's last appearance, Lana being unhappy and as the end of the storyline been revealed, Starrcade spoilers, WWE's decision on Cara, as well as an ECW star being hospitalized. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. But let's get straight into the good, the bad and the downright ugly. Let's start off with the good, as number 1, continuing the invasion. The WWE did a good job continuing the build for NXT's repeated attacks on Raw and SmackDown's grapplers, this time featuring several of NXT UK's top stars challenging Raw superstars. In this case, NXT came up short, which only makes sense as it doesn't help a program if it's a lopsided one, something the WWE needs to do with all its feuds. And Bayley is an afterthought in their upcoming triple threat match at Survivor Series. They need to do something to change this or Bayley is going to be the proverbial fifth wheel. Number 2, an all-star team. The WWE is doing a fantastic job building some dream matches for Survivor Series, including AJ Styles vs Roderick Strong vs Shinsuke Nakamura, as well as strong teams for the traditional Survivor Series bouts. Tonight's announcement that Seth Rollins will be joined by Ricochet, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre was a smart move to build up interest in the pay-per-view. Number 3, teasing a turn. Triple H tempted Seth Rollins, who has been struggling to find his way after his program against The Fiend, with the idea of returning to NXT, and with it, the WWE hinted at the possibility of Rollins betraying his Raw teammates. With Rollins captaining Raw's team at Survivor Series, fans shouldn't rule out a Rollins heel turn, but they shouldn't expect to see him go to the yellow brand either. Instead, count on Rollins using his betrayal to advance his heel turn. And number 4, the death of the 24/7 title has been greatly exaggerated. While the 24/7 title has lasted longer than anyone dreamed since its dreadful debut, some pundits have proclaimed that the title has outlived its purpose as comic relief. As last night's latest misadventure with R-Truth shows, these pundits couldn't be more wrong. While the 24/7 title's success relies heavily on R-Truth, it's still a fun gimmick and last night was no exception. Normally we always favour a less is more approach, but rarely has a gimmick done so much with so little, so keep at it until they've run it into the ground. But that was the good. Let's move on to the bad as number 1, from sugar to While the Rusev-Lana Lashley love triangle has been one of Raw's more popular segments, as the ratings and YouTube don't lie, the Manchester fans made their displeasure known, booing Lana mercilessly. Now the WWE must ask whether this was a case of fans going into business for themselves or a sign the angle has quickly lost its popularity. The ratings and YouTube views should answer the question quickly, but if the angle is dead, what's next for the storyline? Will the WWE ignore the fans and continue it, assuming it's DOA, or end it quickly? Number 2, where's Andrade going? While Andrade keeps stacking up wins on Raw, there doesn't seem to be any endgame in sight for the talented star. It's good to see the WWE pushing Andrade, but are they grooming him for a program against an established star, or even some championship matches? Andrade's winning ways would mean something if a new star defeats him and they start a feud, otherwise it's just bad booking. Number 3, spinning his wheels. Speaking of wrestlers stuck in an infinite loop, is the WWE ever going to do anything with Aleister Black? Black has all the skills to become a top star, including charisma, mic skills, and the skills to get things done in the ring. But despite this, he's been stuck cutting promos and beating the occasional hapless opponent, much as he did on SmackDown. With 3 hours to fill, the WWE should have no problem fitting him into the show in a meaningful role. Number 4, squash match fever. Some viewers may feel that Wrestlelamia needs to retire this complaint, but until the WWE fixes the problem, we have to say stop the squashes. We've noted occasional squash matches are good, but last night's 2 squashes in a row using enhancement talent are something that should never happen. Did the WWE think they were fooling anyone when they aired a hype video for Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster? As we've already established, Raw has 3 hours to fill and they're letting talent like Aleister Black cut the same promo every week while job guys fill various time slots. It's incredible that anyone sees this as a good idea. But that was the bad? What about the downright ugly? Well, once again Raw avoided any ugly segments, although some might consider Lana's segment as a good candidate, but despite some good segments, the Red brand needs to step up. There are too many meaningless matches for fans to want to invest 3 hours of their time in the show, and it continues to show in the ratings. What will the WWE do when the invasion angle ends and it needs a long-term program to keep things moving? Unless the NXT invasion is going past Survivor Series, which is unlikely, both Raw and SmackDown are going to need to make some serious improvements, something neither brand has shown itself capable of. Let's move on to some wrestling news, as our first story looks at John Cena and how he's not missing Wrestlemania 36. John Cena has been focusing on his time in Hollywood and hinted that his in-ring career may be winding down, but a recent interview with Sports Illustrated suggests that doesn't mean Cena is abandoning the WWE. He mentioned, "I'm so grateful to be doing some amazing things right now, but I still miss the WWE and still ask myself, who am I when I'm not active with WWE? My identity was so closely tied to WWE for so long. I never make the matches, I'm just grateful to be able to perform in WWE. Every day away from it, I miss it more and more and more. I'm becoming more honest with myself about how much I miss it. I'm very eager to get back into a WWE ring soon, and on the subject of Wrestlemania, I can tell you this, I haven't missed a Wrestlemania since my first appearance at Wrestlemania 19, and I do not plan to miss a Wrestlemania for decades to come." Well, that's certainly good news, as most of us do miss John Cena, though we'd never say that. But if he were to wrestle at Wrestlemania 36, who would his opponent be? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a number of turns in WWE. Forbes' Blake Ostreicher is predicting not 1, not 2, but 5 babyface turns in the WWE, with Ostreicher listing Lacey Evans, The Fiend, Randy Orton, who already seems on his way to turning babyface, Samoa Joe, and either Sami Zayn or Shinsuke Nakamura. While these might shake things up initially, how would they be in the long run? Let's look at each individual wrestler. First, Lacey Evans. Although Lacey Evans seems better suited for a role as a heel, SmackDown could use a fresh babyface act, and Evans could get the fans behind her if she continued her sassy southern by belittling the blue brand's heels. But what about Samoa Joe? The Samoan submission machine seemed headed for a face turn during the Who Tried to Murderize Roman Reigns storyline, but that never went anywhere. Joe has no problem playing a babyface, but will the WWE give him some wins or continue using him as a tough guy to put over other stars? But what about Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura? This one may seem odd as the two were just paired together recently, but last August, WrestleVotes reported, "One of the ideas I've heard when the Zayn and Nakamura storyline was decided upon was to eventually reassemble that of the Jericho-Owens friendship from a few years ago, leading to a big-time blow-off match." However, I'd be surprised if this story lasted all the way through to Mania. Like most matches in the WWE, Zayn vs Nakamura would be an in-ring classic, but will anyone care to see Zayn, who's been shoved to the very bottom of the roster, battle Nakamura? Next, Randy Orton. Now the Viper has never played a babyface well, and reportedly it's a role he dislikes. Nevertheless, the WWE is already hinting Orton could be turning babyface. If so, would he set his sights on AJ Styles, feud with someone else, or perhaps form a tag team? We really hope he doesn't form a tag team. It's been done. And lastly, The Fiend. History has repeatedly shown that fans get behind heels who are portrayed as badasses, whether it's The Undertaker, Steve Austin, or Brock Lesnar. So it's little surprise the WWE Universe is firmly behind The Fiend. The only problem, and it's a problem the WWE has created for The Fiend whether he works as a babyface or heel, is that they've depicted him as superhuman and seemingly incapable of being pinned or submitted. They'll have to be careful with how they book The Fiend and who he wrestles unless they want to kill his popularity. Next up, Brock Lesnar's last appearance. Fans have been spoiled and likely surprised by the unusual number of Brock Lesnar appearances on television and at pay-per-views. However, it looks like Brock is about to go into hiding again after Survivor Series, as Pro Sports Extra's Brad Shepard reports. A source in WWE noted there are currently no dates listed internally for Brock Lesnar after Survivor Series. Although I'm told the Royal Rumble is a safe bet, they either need to update his schedule or it's telling of the outcome of his title defense at Survivor Series. Could this mean a Rey Mysterio win over Lesnar with the help of Cain Velasquez? Or perhaps a beating on Rey that leads to Velasquez seeking revenge? Well, anything could happen. Next up, is Lana unhappy and has the end of the storyline been revealed? According to Brad Shepard, a source in WWE told me that Lana was easily the most uncomfortable with this entire storyline. However, it's either that or sit at home. The angle has finally given Lana and Rusev a substantial program, as well as allowing Bobby Lashley to show some personality, but given wrestling's history of similar programs leading to breakdowns in real-life relationships, it's easy to understand her concerns. However, the storyline will reportedly have a happy ending, as he later tweeted, "Apparently the idea is for Rusev and Lana to eventually reunite." How heartwarming. Next up, some possible Starrcade spoilers. The WWE Network special Starrcade is scheduled for 1st December, and according to Ringside News, it might provide some hints to some future WWE programs. With The Miz battling The Fiend in a steel cage match for the Universal Championship, Seth Rollins battling Randy Orton, Kevin Owens wrestling AJ Styles, and Roman Reigns taking on King Corbin. Snooze. But do any of these possible feuds interest you? Next up, the WWE have made the decision in regards to Sin Cara handing in his notice for release. PW Insider has an update on Sin Cara requesting his release from the WWE, with Mike Johnson reporting WWE sources have indicated to PWInsider.com that Sin Cara's release request, as of this writing, is not going to be approved. We are also told that while he was initially slated to go to TV at the end of the European tour, he will instead be going home and will not be working in Raw in Boston, Massachusetts next week. Well, that's what you get for handing in your release. But the WWE's policy of not granting releases has been well established since the formation of AEW, and the company denying Sin Cara should come as no surprise. However, where did Sin Cara want to go after WWE? Well, according to PW Insider again, the masked superstar wanted to pursue a career in MMA. As they mentioned, the word making the rounds among WWE talents is that Cara, who is close with Alberto El Patron, has an interest in working for MMA promotion Combats America, which features a number of pro wrestlers. And lastly, an ECW star has been hospitalized. PW Insider reports ECW star Francine has been hospitalized for issues resulting from a recent surgery. We'd like to wish the Queen of Extreme a speedy and full recovery. But there you have it guys, our analysis of the 11th November Raw, as well as the latest wrestling news. What are your thoughts on the stories? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.